Good evening, welcome to Central News for Thursday the 8th of August. I'm Hilary Entwistle. In today's news, a series of quakes has been detected under Mount Tongariro following the recent earthquakes in central New Zealand. Civil Defence says this is a timely reminder that disaster could strike at any time. Waikato Civil Defence says now is a good time to be checking your emergency kits are stocked and accessible, and that your emergency plans are up to date. Waikato Group Controller Lee Hazelwood says there have been long gaps between earthquakes in the Waikato, but we do have several active faults in our region.
Yeah, we've got three major faults in the Waikato region. So we have the Kiripahi fault, which runs along the Hauraki Plains, closer to the Kaimai Ranges. We also have the Wairoa fault, which runs along the Bombay Hills. There's also the Rangipo fault, which runs to the east of Mount Ruapehu. In addition to these major faults, we've also got several smaller faults, particularly around the Taupo area, around the Taupo Volcanic Centre. So those are all within our region.
Take control of your own safety is the theme of this year's Students Against Drink Driving Awareness Week. The message is based on the 4 Ps. Plan, make a plan for your night out ahead of time, including safe transport. Prepare for things to change, expect the unexpected, and have a backup plan. Play, have fun, be social, enjoy your time out and about, and look after your mates. Promise, keep your promises, those you've made to yourself and to loved ones, and stay safe. Matamata College SAD leaders Jess Floyd and Candice Herbs says being a part of the campaign has taught them a lot.
Well, it's Students Against Drunk Driving. Basically, it's just a group of, all over New Zealand, just all students getting together and trying to combat ways to try and promote, safe driving, I guess, and just coming up with campaigns and just trying to get everyone in the community involved.
A decision on how nitrogen limits will be allocated to specific land uses in the Lake Rotorua catchment is a step closer. Bay Plenty Regional Council's proposed regional policy statement has set a sustainable nitrogen limit of 435 tonnes of nitrogen per year in the Lake Rotorua catchment. Nitrogen enters the lake from a range of sources, including agricultural activities, urban wastewater, forests and rain. To reach the sustainable nitrogen limit, a reduction of 320 tonnes is needed. The Regional Council estimates 50 tonnes can be reduced through in-lake initiatives, leaving 270 tonnes to be achieved through reducing nitrogen from pastoral land use. Now for our region's weather, Hamilton, showers and then rain. Northeasterly strengthening. Your expected high is 16 and an overnight low of 9. Tauranga, much the same, showers turning to rain, also a strengthening northeasterly wind. Your expected high is 16 and an overnight low of 11. Just ahead, the anonymous wife diaries. Welcome to Central News on TV Central. Anonymous Wife Diaries is a forum for women to let go of all their secrets online and anonymously. We chatted with website creator Erica Harvey to find out more about this popular website and why it has already attracted so many women from around the world.
Anonymous Wife Diaries is a site that's been designed to be a safe place where women can go to and talk about whatever's heavy on their mind or on their heart that they feel that they have nowhere else to go. For example, a lot of women suffer from postnatal depression, but with a stigma around it, you don't really want to talk to your friends about it, you're kind of nervous. This is a place you can go, be anonymous, and meet other women that are going through the same things that can maybe help you, help you develop through this journey that you're going through. So,
you recently updated it.
Yeah, we got a shareholder into my business that makes no money, 25% in Hollywood, and they've taken it on board. They've redesigned the website, it's got more functionality, it's easier to navigate, and so they're actually helping us to figure out this design to make it more suitable and interactive for people to interact with.
Why did you want to create the website?
It's actually quite interesting, I guess. When I was 26, I was diagnosed with cancer, and when I went through that, I was always quite positive and happy, and when you get diagnosed with something like that, your whole family freaks out. And so if you start telling them that you're scared or you're freaking out, then it makes it a lot more difficult. So you try to be strong for your family. My husband and I were engaged at the time, so what they didn't know is that at night I would cry myself to sleep, or I was scared that if I went to sleep I wouldn't wake up. I had panic attacks really badly. I couldn't even watch like my favorite TV shows like CSI, or because when someone died I would palpitate. So this kind of helped me. I thought if I had a place I could go to and meet other women or people that were going through, cancer and the diagnosis, that would have made that whole journey so much easier, because people try to connect with you, but you go, oh, you have no idea what I'm going through. You're not, no. So it's one of those places that you can literally connect with someone that's walked in your shoes and knows exactly what you're going through.
Why do you think it is important that women have that platform to vent?
There's a really amazing thing on a TED Talks called Brené Brown, and she talks about vulnerability. And one of the genius things, which I didn't even see that until after Anonymous Wife Diaries launched, was that you can't really be 100% yourself until you're actually vulnerable, and you can tell people exactly what's on your mind or what you're going through. So I think that's what makes it so important, is it's giving people an outlet to start to discover who they actually are instead of hiding behind who they think people want them to be. If that makes sense?
Was it quite easy to set up the website?
No. I don't design websites. So when I came up with the idea, I kind of drew on a piece of paper, I think this is how I want it to look, but I don't know how to make the logo look, or, so I talked to a friend of mine who's a great illustrator named Daniel Wack in Tauranga, and he sat down with me and he helped come up, and everything I had visualized, he kind of created it for me initially, so he brought the whole project together. So yeah, that was really amazing.
How does the website work?
So the premise of it is that we have people that can leave whatever confession they want. It can be about your family, it can be about work, it can be about anything. They write a confession, they submit it. It doesn't get posted straight away, and it gets moderated. So I go over everything to make sure that there's no bullying and that the integrity of the project is going how it should. What makes it the most special is when people interact with these confessions. So I really want people to give constructive feedback to help these people if they've been there, and then to share the project with other people. We're starting to feature blogs, so if people love to blog and they want their blog featured, they can submit that and we can post those. We're doing once a month. We're going to be doing a lot of really cool stuff too to make it more exciting. But I think the biggest thing they can do is, write on there, tell us what's on your mind, connect with other people around the world.
Who are you aiming the website at?
This website, we're aiming for women that right now are married, engaged, divorced, widowed, as kind of a platform. But we're not really, we're unbiased about it. Since it is the only project, before the website launched, we did something on Facebook and Twitter. And we had men interacting saying, I need a wife's point of view, or I need a child would write and say, how do I talk to my mom about this? So we're really not biased about it. Anyone can really write, as this is the only project we have at the moment, so yeah.
You have a full-time job, you have a young toddler, she's autistic. I mean, how do you find the time to keep up with this website?
Yeah, time's the hardest thing. I have a corporate job in a senior role. And so any spare time I have is all dedicated to the site. So I'm up at 3 o'clock in the morning. Weekends is all dedicated to this to make sure that it's kind of going as planned.
You're not advertising on the website?
That was a big decision, because I think advertising kind of takes away from the whole aspect of the project, which is helping people. I'm not in it to make a quick dollar. We are looking for sponsorships and things that way. But if I've got advertising flashing everywhere and stuff, then it's not really beneficial and it's confusing.
Where do you want to see that Diaries go into the future?
I would like to see it help and reach as many people as it possibly can, around the world, and build a brand for itself. So that's the place people go to.
So what's the next step?
The next step is the one that's the most important to me, which is Anonymous Teen Diaries, which we're working on now. With the emergence of social media, bullying, people struggling with identity as you're growing up, abuse, all these things that children go to, the suicide rate has skyrocketed in New Zealand, especially globally. So we're trying to create the same platform, but to ensure that it's helping teenagers and people around the world where they can come, and say, I feel like, maybe they're struggling with a gender issue or identity or being bullied at school and contemplating suicide. It's to set up a help place where little teens can go and get advice from other teens saying, oh, look, I've been there, now look where I am. So same type of concept, but more aimed at teens.
You can confess all or give your advice at anonymouswifediaries.com. Just ahead, we meet a young boy heading towards his dreams of competing internationally. Welcome back. A local Matamata swimmer made a splash throughout our district when he was chosen to attend a Paralympics New Zealand swim camp at just 15 years of age. I caught up with him to find out about his latest achievements.
I was chosen to attend a Paralympic swim camp in Hamilton. We had to do 2 swim sessions each day. It was overall it was a 5-day swim camp. At the end it ended with a 3-day swim meet. That's about it.
That sounds like a lot of swimming. For someone who doesn't swim a lot, that sounds like a lot. How many swimmers were actually chosen for this camp in Hamilton?
There were 8 swimmers from all over, 8 Paralympic swimmers from all over New Zealand that were chosen.
8, and you were chosen. Yeah. That's pretty prestigious. So what did this involve? What were your highlights?
My highlights were probably meeting new friends and I swam 200, 100 and a 53.
Oh wow, crikey. So what opportunities might this bring? Are you looking at going to the 2016 Paralympics?
My ultimate goal is either going to the 2016 Paralympics in Rio or the 2020 ones, which haven't been announced yet. And my short-term goals are going to the secondary schools in Hamilton. Yep.
So when's the secondary schools in Hamilton?
September.
And that's Paralympics, or that's just...
It's everyone, but there's Paralympic swimmers there.
Oh, wow. Oh, crikey. So 2016, that's not that far away yet, but you're actually very young for how well you're swimming, aren't you?
Yeah, sort of, yep.
You're 15?
Yep, 15.
And so you want to get to the Paralympics at 17?
Yep, I'm trying. It's my ultimate goal, yep.
You can do it. So tell us your fastest times, because I think that's quite impressive.
My 200 time is 3 minutes and 14 seconds, and my 100 is 1 minute and 24 seconds.
Wow! I mean, that must take so much training. How do you train?
I swim just over at the Matamata pools here. My coach is Graham Lang, and I swim with a squad team with a squad.
So do you train pretty much every day?
I train about 4 or 5 times a week.
How long?
It's an hour and a half, I think. Yeah, hour and a half.
Wow, that's commitment. So, I mean, it's hard enough. It's hard enough to be a swimmer anyway, to get those times. I mean, I can't do that. How do you do it with, you've got you've got a disability. What other challenges must that bring up?
I've been swimming since I was 1. I couldn't actually swim properly until I was about 9, to the age of 9, and I've no feeling from my knees down and my feet, but I have a very big lung capacity, so yeah, it helps me a bit. Well,
it's actually kind of it's a bit of an advantage, really, isn't it? Having big lung capacity. Do you find that it helps do you get a lot of pain?
No. No?
So you don't find it quite therapeutic being in the water, or it's perfect, it's just your goal to get there?
Yeah, it's just my goal to get there, yeah.
So, I mean, what's the next step to getting to the the 2016 Paralympics?
Probably impressing the Paralympic swim coaches at the secondary schools in Hamilton and getting into the high performance squad.
Now, what are your strengths in swimming? You do, those times that you read out were freestyle, weren't they? Yeah. So do you like other?
Nah, freestyle is my main stroke.
Yeah, you can't do.
Oh, I can do them, but I'm not that good in them.
So, I mean, freestyle's a lot of upper body strength, isn't it?
Yeah.
So you have to go to the gym and do weights as well as part of your training?
Sometimes, yeah, I don't kick, but I've got strong arms and I've got a big lung capacity. Do
you have to do training with your lungs as well? I mean, I don't know anything about swimming.
I don't do that at the moment, no.
Do they have to do that when they get to Paralympic stage?
I'm not actually sure.
Mm. So who's your role model?
Probably Jesse Reynolds. Yeah.
Why do you look up to him?
Oh, because he's my age and he's already in the high performance squad and he's going to the Worlds.
Wow.
Chance, yeah.
15, that's pretty massive, eh?
Yeah.
So what opportunities do you think this will bring, you know, being able to train for these high school, Hamilton secondary schools?
Oh, hopefully my ultimate goal is probably get into those Paralympics, but yeah.
Well, thank you very much and all the best for the rest of your training.
Thank you.
We will follow Tane's progress closely. Just ahead, a gym with a difference. If you have just joined us, welcome to Central News. Fit Futures are a not-for-profit charitable trust who are working with people with physical disabilities to reach their full potential through fitness training. We caught up with the director, David Rolton, and some of his members to find out how specialist training is improving their quality of life.
Well, I started off as a personal trainer training with members of the general population approximately a year ago now. And I had one or two clients who had physical disabilities at the time, and I determined that there was a real need for quality training within the disability community. So from there it kind of evolved, and hence the Fit Futures started up the trust and provided access for the broader Waikato community. And since then it's really just snowballed, and now we have 25 active members and we have a waiting list of about 20. So we're really getting a lot of people coming in, getting involved, and it's been really great. It's been a valuable service for the community, and we've had some great success so far.
So what would you like to see of Fit Futures to become in the future?
Well, I would like Fit Futures to continue on, basically for as long as I can possibly run the service, and I would like to reach out to as many people as possible and provide the same quality of service that we're currently providing to our members now. I would like to see Fit Futures become almost a nationwide phenomenon. I'd like other clubs to start off doing a similar thing to what I'm doing here, so that way we can provide access to more people and help the broader community, not just locally but also nationwide.
And what would you say is the most rewarding part of the job?
Well, the most rewarding part for me would be to see the results, see the progress of our members. So, for instance, we have people joining up who struggle to lift a 2-kilogram weight. 6 months later, they're lifting 20 kgs. They never thought that was possible at the beginning, but hey, they're able to do it. They're showing to themselves that they're able to accomplish their goals, set small goals and achieve them as they go. And so the success of our members is the most important thing for me, and that's what I get the most satisfaction from.
So how do you work out what your members are capable of to make sure they exercise safely and to their benefit?
Well, safety is the most important concern of all, of course, and that is absolutely paramount. So what we do is we ensure that we take as much information as possible from our members before they start training, so we can design their programs accordingly, in line with their limitations, with their strengths and weaknesses, and we can provide safe, quality training. And of course we monitor the training as we go, so from week to week, month to month, we just ensure that they're steadily achieving their goals in a safe, productive manner, and that there are no issues. We haven't had a single injury, a single incident since we started a year ago. We have a flawless health and safety record. So far so good. It's been really good, and our members are learning how to train correctly. This is the main thing. So they're learning the correct technique. Technical considerations are really important. So we emphasise safety, we emphasise slow controlled movements, and then they ultimately become independent so they can go out into more mainstream gyms, train on their own in a safe manner.
And how can people support Fit Futures?
Well, at the moment we're running on donations essentially, and also some funding from the community. So essentially any funding provider can help us out with with some funding so that will ensure we can continue to provide a good service here for the community. So just anybody who's willing to come forward, offer a few donations here and there, and just help out, support these members of ours, and you know, that would be incredible. Yeah.
So tell me, how long has Fit Futures been running for?
We've been running now for over a year, just over a year now, and when we got started off, I've had this sort of vision of putting together Fit Futures for many years now, and so finally everything came together, all the right circumstances combined, and finally got going.
Well, thank you, David. Let's go and hear from some of your members to find out about their training. So, Stacey, tell me about your life before you started training here.
Well, before I came here, I was doing powerlifting at home, and because I've had my own gym, and as years went by, I started building up, and it just started from home. Started training there, doing a bit of powerlifting, and before I came here, I was introduced to Dave and to Fit Futures by another friend of mine, who's also he works for Sports Waikato. His name is Dave Klinkhammer, and he's also an athlete himself in wheelchair rugby. So he introduced me to Dave, and it just started from there and pretty much kicked off. And I've been here for about a year and a half now. So yeah, that's how I got started training here.
And Joy, how has Fit Futures helped you?
It helped me build up self-confidence in sport, because I'm not very sporty, and helped me discover the various kind of sport that I can do. If someone helps me to achieve them. Yeah. And
Stacey, what have you enjoyed most about training here?
The most I enjoy about training here is I have to train alone. For starters, you know, it's always fun to train with another person, because that way you train by yourself, you can get away with, you know, doing whatever, and so, you know, better dodge a few workouts here and there. But with a friend, he keeps you on track, and he keeps, for example, he can count the reps and how much you're doing at this moment. So it's pretty good. Yeah. It's pretty good in a way that.
So it pushes you a bit further.
Exactly.
And Joy, what are you working towards at the moment?
Better body strength and abdominal area and fine motor skills. Yeah, because I have a Segway I ride, and it helps me better control it so I don't fall off it. Yeah.
So you enjoy it here?
Yes.
Yeah.
To find out more about Fit Futures or get involved, contact Dave Rolton by email fitfutures1@gmail.com. That is the news for today. We really want you to be involved, so like us on Facebook, let us know your views. If you have news including your own video and photos, go to our website and hit upload. Thanks for joining us. I will be back tomorrow evening with more guests from in and around our regions. I'm Hilary Entwistle. Have a lovely evening.
This has been an Alpha Media production, a division of Television Media Group.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.